this plane went down. Oh my God, look at this.
A reaction to a moment that not surprisingly caught many by surprise.
I've never seen anything in my life like this.
Captured on cell phone video, you can see the F-16 fighter pilot parachuting down after his jet had crashed in a wooded area roughly 6 miles from Joint Base Andrews and also near numerous homes in the Clinton neighborhood.
Scary moment to feel, to come outside and see somebody falling from the sky.
Photos later showing the pilot safely on the ground. Air Force officials later saying the pilot likely encountered mechanical troubles.
Once he realized he would not be able to safely land the aircraft, he made a decision to maneuver to a wooded area to avoid the risk to local community.
Officials saying the Air National Guard member was conducting a routine training exercise before the crash. You could see the smoke for miles. Nearly 50 homes were evacuated as a precaution. Hours after the crash, there is still a heavy military presence in a neighborhood where this F-16 crashed. One homeowner even showing us some of the damage caused by the jet moments before it landed in the wooded area.
Whatever it was went through the window, or at least through the front part of it.
Reggie Stewart telling WJZ he came home to find more than just a broken window, saying his deck was in disarray and inside the home.
When we came in, there was water here on the floor.
His backroom sprinkler apparently breaking and flooding the area. Some homeowners also documenting debris found on their lawns. Pretty scary.
Was it? Until I knew what it was, I thought it was an earthquake.
The majority just grateful in that pilot's split-second decision that potentially spared many lives. Are you thankful that this wasn't worse?
Absolutely thankful.
Go to George Solis on the ground near this massive fire. George?
That's right, we just got here on the ground. I want to show you just what we're dealing with here. You can see there are still some hot spots on the building here. The old Chevy dealership, we're told. Plumes of black smoke billowing from the roof here as firefighters continue the attack. And as you heard Captain Jeff say, there are a lot of crews out here, 4 crews from Carroll, Frederick, Howard, and Montgomery counties, all of them spread across the region here trying to protect homes in this region. Again, a lot of them probably sustaining smoke damage. As you can see, again, a lot of smoke coming from this building. We were told that this is a full roof collapse, and firefighters are taking a defensive position, which means at this point they are not going inside the building. They are doing what's called a surround and drown attack. As you can see, just dousing the building full of water, making sure that the fire is out before they can actually go in and begin to investigate. Now, we do know that the fire marshal is here on scene, and he will give us an update as far as how this attack is going and if there's any possible cause at this point. And of course, there are a lot of people here on scene looking on just to see how long it takes before this fire is put out. It doesn't appear that there's any other immediate danger to homes at this particular time, but of course, this is still ongoing and it's still a very active scene out here. And of course, we will monitor this fire as it continues to burn and as crews work to put it out. But of course, we will bring that up to you as soon as it becomes available. For now, we're live in Mount Airy. George Solis, WJZ, Eyewitness News.
Okay, thank you so much, George.
That's right, this is still a very active scene out here in Mount Airy. We just got done speaking to fire officials who tell us this is going to be a very long fight into the night as firefighters work to put out this fire. They will not be able to go into the building tonight, we're told, as crews work to put out hot spots. They are dealing with a full roof collapse, so they're not quite sure how much fire is still burning inside this 10,000 square foot building. We have learned that it is an old Chevy dealership. No cars inside, though. It's been mainly used as a warehouse, so we're still not entirely clear on what was inside or cause for this fire at this time. Now, we do have some witnesses that have been out here. We're going to bring one into you to speak with right now. Her name is Nicole. She has been here on scene. If you could step in here, Nicole, and tell me a little bit about what you've seen out here as far as this fire goes.
We've been here for a couple hours now, and we just keep hearing big booms of things crashing and falling. It's definitely slowed down, but we saw it all the way from Frederick on the way here, and it's been really big.
Now tell me, how many firefighters have you seen here on scene today trying to put out this fire?
I've seen like 20 different fire departments. It's been really big. There's like people from places I'd never even heard of, and I'm from Mount Airy, so there's been lots of firefighters.
There's some homes out here. I mean, have you seen people like freaking out, making sure that, you know, their homes don't burn down?
I know people who live over here. Luckily, there's a house over there that was melting on its side. Luckily, they weren't home, but it's definitely very scary, and luckily they weren't home to witness and be in the house.
All right. Anything else that kind of caught you off guard? We were told that this is pretty much a very unique fire. Nothing like this has ever really happened in an area like this.
it's just weird because there's not many usually people in here. No one was expecting it. Luckily, I think everyone's okay, and I'm thankful for the firefighters that helped out today.
Absolutely. And so again, we were told that there are 4 counties out here responding to this fire. And again, this is going to be a very long battle for them as they try and contain this fire here at the old Chevy dealership. Now, we did again talk to the fire marshal a little while ago. Here's what he had to say as far as how things are progressing right now.
We will do a general, just make sure that they are safe. But at this point, we've got it's under control now. It's contained. It will not escape, and they're going to continue to put water on it until we get it fully down, knocked down, and that's going to be into the many hours yet tonight.
Right, so as you heard, they have contained the fire here, so that is the good news. Unfortunately, a home did sustain some damage. Again, very active scene out here. There are a lot of onlookers, and of course, we will be out here covering this until they hopefully extinguish this fire here. South Main Street is closed for the time being, so no other cars outside of fire personnel are being allowed in at this time. That's the very latest. Reporting from Mount Airy, George Solis, WJZ Eyewitness News.
George, thank you so much.
That's right, good evening, Vic. This is still a very active scene here. Take a look. You can still see that there is fire shooting from the building. Now, the fire marshal's office tells us that the fire is contained at this point, but obviously they are very concerned at this point. They are still dousing the fire with water, putting out these hot spots right now. This is a 10,000 square foot building. We know it was an old Chevy dealership that was converted into a warehouse, but they still don't know what was inside, but clearly something that was very combustible. Now, from Sky Chopper 13, you can get a better look at the magnitude of this fire. There is still heavy plumes of smoke coming from the building right now. One home at least slightly damaged in this fire at this point. No one else was evacuated, though, as far as we were told. There are still a number of people out here just taking this massive 2-alarm fire in. The road is closed at this point to no one else other than fire personnel. Here is a little bit more on what we know about the fire. A raging 2-alarm fire burning fiercely in Mount Airy. A sea of onlookers watching as crews from 4 counties work to ensure the fire, projected to burn all night, doesn't threaten homes.
The house over there that was melting on its side, luckily they weren't home, but it's definitely very scary.
Fire officials say the 10,000 square foot building, an old Chevy dealership, was being used as a warehouse.
At this point, we've got it's under control now. It's contained. It will not escape, and they're going to continue to put water on it until we get it fully down, knocked down, and that's going to be into the many hours yet tonight.
Now again, from Sky Chopper 13, you can take a look again at just how massive this 2-alarm fire is. Again, contained at this point, but they are still actively trying to put it out before fire crews are able to go in and really begin their investigation as far as figuring out what caused it. Now, we were told that the owner of the building is actually not in town at this time. They are away on vacation, so we really still don't have a full grasp of what was likely in this building or what may have caused it to go up in flame. And again, just a huge response from firefighters here from 4 different counties, more than 100 of them here. Of course, they're all taking shifts at this point to make sure they don't suffer any kind of heat exhaustion, but that is the very latest here on the ground in Mount Airy. Throw it back to you on TV Hill.
All right, thank you very much, George.
Yeah, good evening, Vic. The ongoing effort to put this fire out continues. I want to show you so you can see that fire crews are still relentlessly dousing this old Chevy dealership with water. We do know that it was converted into an old warehouse. We still don't know the cause of the fire at this point, but we do know that there was an old sign business in this structure as well. We were told that the owners of the building are actually away on vacation at this time. We were told that they do have some items in there that were obviously very combustible. Some bystanders told us they heard some explosions earlier in the day. Now, from Sky Chopper 13, you'd be able to see a little bit more of the scope of the damage here of this fire. Massive black smoke, clouds billowing over the area for several hours. It's been ongoing for about 3.5 hours now. We do know that the fire has been contained at this time, but crews are still not going in until they are able to put out every hotspots to really ensure their safety and then begin that investigation to find out what exactly caused the fire. There are a number of fire crews out here, at least 4 counties, more than 100 firefighters dousing this building with water to ensure that it's safe enough to go in. South Main Street remains closed at this hour, so no one other than and fire personnel is getting in. Things have calmed down significantly since we first got out here, but there are still a number of people very curiously on looking to see if they can get a better glimpse of what was inside this building that may have caused it to erupt in such heavy flames for so long. That is the latest out here in Mount Airy. We'll throw it back to you on TV Hill.
George, thank you.
Vic, yeah, we just got here on scene moments ago. I want to show you right now. You can see the steam that's coming from the ground right here. We're on Utah Street right now. You can see firefighters pouring what appears to be water over the scene right now. This is right next to the Marriott Hotel and the Hilton that I can see here. A number of onlookers on the street right now, very curiously trying to figure out what's going on right now. Now, I was hearing a little bit about what Captain Jeff was saying and a little bit about what you guys were reporting. Very busy scene actively here. Again, just take a moment to just notice the amount of steam that's coming from the ground right now. And again, we need to re-emphasize how close this is to Camden Yards as well right now. There's a number of people out here trying to give us some information as far as what they're hearing, but obviously we can't confirm anything. If you are hearing any reports from the ambient noise that's around me right now, police have closed off Utah Street where we are right now. There's a heavy police presence, a number of first responders on scene here. There's also some wind out here. I'm not sure if you can hear it as I'm standing out here right now. So obviously that's probably not helping directing this right now at the moment. But again, a lot of steam coming from the ground right now. Again, this is right next to a number of people right now. Again, very close in proximity to Camden Yards. But I'll go ahead and toss it back to you on TV Hill as we work the ground here to gather more information. Right, so again, we're here at Utah Street and Redwood. Again, this road has been blocked off now. Only first responders and fire crews allowed to go closer to the scene. But again, you can see from the ground here just how much steam is blowing from the ground here. Again, kind of hitting that Marriott Hotel right now just because of the heavy wind that's blowing on scene right now. A number of first responders, as you were able to see from Captain Jeff up there in Sky High Chopper 13. Police now directing cars that were still here in the area outside of the perimeter that they have set up here. Of course, there are a number of onlookers here gathered just to see what's going on. We can see the heavy spray of water that firefighters are throwing on to the Marriott side of the hotel because, again, presumably this steam very, very hot as it's hitting the building there. I was able to see some of the images from Sky Chopper 13. Again, just massive amounts of steam coming from the ground right now towards that building. And again, this is in very close proximity to Camden Yards right now. That whole area right now completely evacuated from people as a precaution, understandably. And it's just, again, as I'm taking a closer look here, it seems that more authorities and first responders are mobilizing from behind here, trying to get closer to the scene here to tackle this steam as it comes from the ground. Again, we are working to get in touch with some first responders and some eyewitnesses to get a better sense of what happened. We do know this happened about an hour ago now, so that is the latest developing here from the ground. We'll throw it back to you on TV Hill.
Before you go, we just saw cars go by you. Does that mean that they're allowing traffic to move on the street that you're on?
Only cars to leave the perimeter, cars that are coming from that were here. There's a parking garage right next to us at the Redwood Luxury Apartments. People are leaving the scene, but police are directing them out of the area. They are not being allowed to go anywhere near down Utah to where the scene is.
Okay, thank you very much, George Solis. They're live on the scene. We'll be checking back in with you.
That's right, Vic. It's very active. As I told you a little bit earlier, it is very windy out here, so we are feeling some of the wind kind of pushing our way. It's probably dragging some of that steam upward towards the building. Again, take a closer look as just that steam that rises from the ground hitting that Marriott. And again, you can see as fire crews douse water on the building right now to try and keep it cool. We have heard, as you mentioned, that the game is still going on tonight. That has not been postponed as far as we know. We also heard reports of 2 people with minor injuries as a result. Social media, of course, lighting up with various accounts of what happened here. One report saying it sounded like a bomb going off when this steam kind of rose from the ground. And it's just been relentless. It doesn't seem to be coming to an end anytime soon right now. We are looking as fire crews work to get closer to the scene, and again, continuously put water on the building, cars, just trying to save what they can right now as they work to investigate, and assuming that they are trying to shut whatever is causing this source of steam to keep rising. Cars are being evacuated from the area. There is a parking garage near on scene here, but people aren't being allowed to go anywhere near that scene right now, and we are monitoring it very closely from our perspective here. A number of onlookers here, but being kept pretty safely back as we continue to develop and gather information out here for you. But that's the very latest. We'll send it back to you on TV Hill.